I just think, and you know way better than me,
Yeah.
but like, it just feels like people are jealous of this new little wave of
They are,
rookies.
but I just hate that because like this is what we've always wanted as a league. So like, who cares who gets the credit? And if you're smart, you're making money off of them.
Yeah.
Like you are literally making money from the viewership.
And why bully the person who is like not 100% responsible, but like has a huge role in growing your sport?
Dude, and it literally like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
No one saw it coming. 1 minute, Sophie Cunningham was just another WNBA player. The next, she was front and center of a viral firestorm, calling out the league, the refs, and even her own teammates. It started with a few bold words, "Protect Caitlin Clark," but what followed was an explosion the WNBA couldn't contain. The league's biggest star was getting hit, harassed, and humiliated. Opponents were body-checking her, trashing her in interviews, and doing everything they could to knock her down literally.
No, there's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. Like, we have a lot of badasses in our league.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league,
Yeah.
or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as.
And the worst part? Nobody in power was doing a thing about it. The refs looked away. The league stayed silent. Even other players acted like it was normal. But Sophie, she snapped. She went from silent witness to loud enforcer, blowing the whistle on the coordinated targeting of Caitlin Clark. On her podcast, she didn't just share vague frustrations. She named names, exposed locker room plans, and dared to say what everyone else was too scared to admit. And the moment she did, fans rallied behind her. Her message struck a nerve, not just with Clark supporters, but with anyone tired of watching the league exploit a rising star while failing to protect her. One viral clip, one podcast episode. That's all it took for Sophie Cunningham to become the voice of a movement.
One of the biggest stars the WNBA's ever
Who's that?
had. Her name rhymes with Schmaitland.
Hurtland?
Yeah. What has that been like, seeing her not only kind of transform a league, but also just be like,
No,
is that fair to say?
not even just the league, but like
The
women's
sport?
basketball as a whole around the
Yeah.
world. No, I think it's awesome. I think it's so funny because she's like 22, 23 years old and the whole world is watching her.
For months, fans had been shouting into the void. Tweets, TikToks, comments under highlight reels. Everyone saw what was happening to Caitlin Clark, but nobody inside the league was saying a word. That is, until Sophie Cunningham opened her mouth and lit the match. On her podcast, Show Me Something, Sophie didn't hold back. She didn't sugarcoat it. She didn't play it safe. She flat out said what everyone else refused to admit. Caitlin Clark is being targeted. And not just by accident, not just because she's a rookie. This wasn't the usual welcome to the league treatment. This was something darker, something coordinated. Sophie revealed what fans had long suspected, that there were actual conversations behind the scenes. Locker room talks, veteran huddles, game plans designed around putting her in her place. And Sophie wasn't just a witness. She used to be part of it. Back when she played for the Phoenix Mercury, she heard the strategy firsthand: rough her up, show her what the W is really about. But now, she's on Clark's team, and she sees it from the other side.
You have seen players in our league try to like toughen up Caitlin. We call her CC. CC. For even when I wasn't on her team, like I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of like, no, we're gonna prove her, we're gonna show her what the W really is. You know what I mean? And like, I get it to a certain extent. And like every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're gonna treat them. But
Right.
there's just more for her.
The constant cheap shots, the no calls, the cold shoulders. She even said it herself. Every rookie gets tested, but this is too much. And if Sophie Cunningham, one of the toughest players in the league, is saying it's gone too far, you know it's crossed the line. By speaking up, Sophie did what no other active player had dared. She broke the silence. And once she did, everything changed. What Sophie Cunningham revealed wasn't just uncomfortable, it was chilling. This wasn't about hard fouls in the heat of the moment. This was premeditated, planned, coordinated, and it was happening behind closed doors. She said it plainly. When she played for the Phoenix Mercury, the team didn't just prepare for Caitlin Clark's skill, they prepared to physically go after her. Before the game even started, there were talks in the locker room. We're going to show her what the W really is. And that wasn't code for playing tough.
So it's her second year. And like now being on her team and like seeing it, I'm like, what are people doing? Like actually it's just too much. And like, it's just, I'm over it. And if I'm saying it's too much.
It meant roughing her up. These weren't random bumps or clumsy contact. These were strategic hits meant to send a message. And Sophie was in those rooms. She heard those game plans. She knew exactly what was coming. At the time, she didn't speak up. But now, she's telling the world. And it gets even more disturbing. Because now that she's on Clark's team, Sophie is seeing the same thing from a new angle, and it's even worse than she thought. It's no longer just rookie treatment. It's a vendetta. A full-on campaign to take Clark down, one hard foul at a time. She's not just getting tested, Sophie said. She's being targeted. And when you consider what she's witnessed both as an opponent and as a teammate, you realize this isn't some conspiracy theory. It's real. It's happening. And no one in the league office is stopping it. If what's happening to Caitlin Clark on the court feels unfair, that's because it is. But what makes it downright dangerous is this. The referees are letting it happen. Let's look at the numbers. In her rookie season alone, Caitlin was the target of 20% of all flagrant fouls in the league. 1 out of every 5. That's not a coincidence, that's a pattern. And with each hit, the silence from the refs got louder. Fans saw it, players saw it, even broadcasters hesitated, trying to make sense of why blatant fouls weren't being called. There was Kennedy Carter's cheap shot that somehow passed as a common foul. Alyssa Thomas rammed her shoulder into Clark's chest with 0 consequence. Marina Mabrey shoved her to the ground and again, nothing. No flagrant, no tech. Just a shrug from the officials. Sophie Cunningham called it what it is, selective blindness. And the worst part? It's not just about 1 or 2 bad refs having a bad night. It's system-wide. We're not calling anything, seems to be the unspoken motto. As if Clark somehow deserves to get hit just for existing.
Yo, look!
Meanwhile, the injuries are piling up.
What we all been witnessing right
3
before our
separate
eyes
lower
about
body
our
issues.
precious CC,
14
my
missed
precious
games.
CC,
Caitlin Clark, who never missed a single
For the
game in
ones who
college,
didn't know.
is now sitting out some of the biggest
So
matchups of her
basically, she
career.
was saying
All because of a league that
that
refuses to step in.
when they was
The
preparing,
referees aren't
when
just
she was
failing
on the
to
other
protect
team
her,
before
they're
she came to the
fueling the
Indiana
campaign
Fever, we
against
talking about Sophie
And for a
Cunningham.
sport trying to build its
She
future
was
around a
basically
rising star,
saying
that's
that
not
the
just reckless.
Phoenix
It's
Mercury
self-destruction.
players
When no one else
were
stood up,
basically
Sophie Cunningham
game
did.
planning
Tired of the
and
cheap
saying
shots.
that they was going to assault
Tired
her.
of the silence. Tired of watching Caitlin Clark get tossed around like the league's punching bag while the refs swallowed their whistles. Sophie decided she'd had enough, and she let everyone know the hard way. It happened in a split second. After a series of no calls and reckless hits on Clark, Sophie delivered a hard foul of her own, one that sparked an all-out melee on the court. But this wasn't a dirty play. It was a message, a warning, if you could online. Fans were starving for anyone to defend Clark.
In the first half, the refs didn't call. Someone should have been thrown out, and the refs did not call it.
Correct. I remember that.
They didn't. And so I was like,
That
all
was when
right,
she got
like,
full body
dude,
chested.
by 3 people.
late- Yeah.
Like 2 people, they're like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, if that was anyone else, I would have been booted out of the game. I know that for sure. I'm a little sassy, but like, so are they.
Your leash is shorter though, because they know.
Literally, I don't even have a leash. I just have a freaking collar and a hand on it. Anyway, so there was like 45 seconds left. The girl stole the ball and I was running back and I was like, we're up. I don't need to foul. And I was like, just let her go. And I was like, all right, like, who cares? Last second, intrusive thoughts. I was like,
Because she stood where others backed down. She made it clear, if the league won't protect Caitlin Clark, she will. And the fans didn't just cheer, they invested. They bought her merch. They followed her accounts. They turned her into something more than just a teammate. They made her the face of accountability in a league that had none. She didn't need a mic. Her actions screamed louder than words. And suddenly, every player who thought bullying Clark was a strategy, they had someone new to worry about. Sophie didn't just stop with the players hitting Caitlin. She went further. She called out the whole system, the league, the referees, and the jealousy nobody wanted to admit. In one of the boldest podcast moments of her career, Sophie said out loud what most players only whisper. People in this league are jealous of Caitlin Clark. The stats prove it. In the 2025 All-Star fan vote, Clark was the clear #1 across the board, a runaway favorite.
I'm not saying that your job is easy, but when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What call are you like bugged out?
All of them.
Most? Everything?
Like, it's just like they're just so inconsistent. Like, that's my thing. Like, if you're on the other team and you're going to be fouling the shit out of me,
yeah.
cool. but let me do it to
Didn't
you.
let you, yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
want
Like,
consistency then.
yeah, like just give. And I think that's players across the league and like new fans across the country. Like everyone's like, what is going on with the refs? And I'm like, I don't know. And you finding me $500 is not going to do shit.
But among player votes, she barely cracked the top 10 among guards. That wasn't a snub. That was a statement. A silent message from her own peers. You're not welcome here. And Sophie? She wasn't having it. She said what everyone knew but nobody dared to say. Clark's success is making everyone richer, whether they like it or not. Better ratings, sold-out arenas, national attention, endorsement deals, bigger paychecks. Yet the very league that profits off Clark's name lets her get abused on the court and disrespected off it. And then Sophie turned her fire on the referees. She didn't sugarcoat it. She accused them of being emotional, inconsistent, and unfit for the moment. Said NBA refs get yelled at constantly and still make better calls than what's happening in the WNBA. She even admitted that, when it comes to discipline, I don't even have a leash, I have a freaking collar with a hand on it. Translation? She's being watched, punished, and held back, while the players hitting Clark walk free. And when the league fined her $500 for posting a TikTok mocking the refs, she laughed. Literally, I got fined for this TikTok? That's funny to me, she said. It wasn't just sarcasm, it was a mic drop. A shot fired at a league more concerned with optics than justice. Sophie wasn't backing down. In fact, she was just getting started. Standing up in the WNBA comes with a price. And Sophie Cunningham?
One of the biggest epidemics in the history of sports right now is going on with the WNBA and their referees. They suck. All right, their referee situation blows. The officiating, they can't get the calls right. When they do go over to look at something, it takes them forever, and then they still get it wrong. And they also will not come down on these players for trying to take out the league's greatest asset. The league's greatest golden goose that is going to eventually make all these players and the commissioner and all these people all this money. They won't officiate.
She's been paying it in full. The league hit her with a $500 fine over a TikTok, a sarcastic jab at referees who were already under fire from fans and players alike. But instead of backing down, Sophie leaned in. She didn't just accept the punishment, she mocked it. This is funny to me, she said, laughing it off like a mosquito bite. That fine didn't scare her. It fueled her. But fines weren't the only price. Sophie is now taking hits just like Caitlin. In a brutal game against the Connecticut Sun, she caught a full elbow to the face, no call. In another, she got grabbed by the neck in a scramble against the Sparks again, no whistle. What used to be exclusive to Caitlin Clark is now happening to anyone who dares to stand with her.
And you got tossed?
And it was 2-on-1. Yeah, I got tossed.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we're good. But so in a situation like that, does Caitlin come up to you after and say like, because the internet whole thing was, look at fucking Sophie sticking up for Caitlin, like this is dope.
But I was.
No, I know you were.
But in the locker room, I think she was like, finally, you know, like finally someone else. I was like, dude, I got you. Like it's, but I think that kind of had our team come together as a whole. And it's like, no, we gotta have like, it was
awesome.
Yeah, no, it really was though. Like, I feel like everyone was like, you know, like we do have to protect each other. And
Sophie's not just talking anymore, she's bleeding for this. And still, she's not flinching, not stepping back, not shutting up. Because to her, the message is bigger than one game or one foul. It's about accountability in a league that desperately needs it. If standing beside Caitlin Clark means becoming a target too, so be it. Sophie made her choice. She chose the hard path, the right path. And now, she's walking it head up, fists clenched, eyes forward. Every hit she takes, every fine they throw at her, just adds to the legend. Sophie's not just defending a teammate. Not one. She never sat out. Not once. But now, in the biggest year of her pro career, Caitlin is being sidelined during the most crucial moments, including the Commissioner's Cup final and even her hometown All-Star game. And guess what? Nobody at the top is connecting the dots. No league statement, no official concern, just silence. But her family sees it. Even Caitlin's own brother, Colin Clark, briefly posted online blaming the referees for her latest injury. He deleted it, but the message was loud and clear. This isn't random. It's relentless. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham doesn't need a tweet to know what's happening. She's on the court. She sees the way defenders load up when Clark drives. She sees the shoulder checks, the hip tosses, the forearms to the ribs. And she sees how the refs let it slide again and again and again. This isn't just wear and tear. It's sustained damage, physical and mental. It's a league failing to protect its most valuable player, even as she generates record-breaking revenue and attention. And if the injuries continue, what happens next? Because the way things are going, Caitlin Clark won't just miss a few games, she might lose entire seasons. And if that happens, the WNBA won't just lose a player, they'll lose the future. While the league stayed quiet, Sophie Cunningham got louder, and the world took notice. After standing up for Caitlin Clark, after drawing that hard foul, and after mocking the refs on TikTok, Sophie's name skyrocketed. Within 48 hours, her social media blew up. Her TikTok gained over 600,000 followers. Her Instagram passed 1 million. And her jersey? Gone. Sold out nationwide. What started as one player defending a teammate turned into a movement, and Sophie became the face of it. But it didn't stop there. Brands came calling. She signed deals with Adidas, Ring, and Arby's, turning her voice into market power. And then she went even bigger, launching her own podcast, Show Me Something, under Colin Cowherd's network, The Volume. Sophie didn't just win the fans she owned the moment. She became something the WNBA desperately needed. A player who wasn't afraid to speak up, take hits, get fined, and still show up with a smile and a mic. She turned herself into a brand built on loyalty, courage, and fire. Not fake PR fire, not scripted sound bites, real raw energy. The kind fans can feel. The kind that builds loyalty. The kind that turns a role player into a household name. And what's wild? She never asked for any of this. She didn't plan to go viral. She didn't chase fame. She chased justice. And the fans rewarded her with more than just applause, they gave her power. Because in a league where silence has been the default, Sophie became the exception. And now, whether the WNBA likes it or not, she's not going anywhere. This isn't just about Sophie Cunningham. It's about a league that's profiting off Caitlin Clark's name while failing to protect her body. The WNBA wanted the spotlight. It wanted the fans, the sold-out arenas, the record-breaking merch sales, and Caitlin Clark delivered all of it in her rookie year. But instead of guarding that golden goose, the league let her get hit, hacked, and harassed without consequence. Sophie saw it, and she did what the league wouldn't. She stepped in. While WNBA leadership stayed silent, she spoke up. While referees swallowed whistles, she threw elbows. While other players let jealousy turn to violence, Sophie turned her frustration into action. And that's the real message here. You can't build the future of a sport by burning down its brightest star. Caitlin Clark is more than a highlight reel, more than a hashtag. She's a once-in-a-generation athlete, and if the league keeps allowing this unchecked targeting, they'll lose her and everything she brought with her. But now the ball is in the WNBA's court. Do they finally wake up and protect the players who are elevating the league? Or do they keep hiding behind fines, silence, and broken officiating? Sophie made her choice. She charged into the fire while everyone else stood in the shadows. She's not just fighting for Clark, she's fighting for the future. Because if things don't change now, it won't just be Caitlin Clark who gets pushed out. It'll be the fans, the sponsors, and the trust. So, WNBA, what's it going to be? If you agree with Sophie, comment below. Protect Caitlin Clark. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications because what's coming next might just shake the league to its core.